Hello, beautiful people. This is TCN Movies TV, and if you're just joining us, welcome. Today, I'll be sharing a quick recap of this sweet and romantic movie from 2024. So, brace yourselves and let's get right into it. So, the movie begins in a room where a young, beautiful lady named Kareem sits and watches a guy sleep. The guy's name is Tony. He is a businessman whose last marriage failed due to some issues. Meanwhile, Kareem is a street girl who sleeps with different men for money. Tony happens to wake up in her lodge and looks confused, but Kareem explained that he was drunk from the club the previous night, so she quickly brought him to her lodge. When he was about to leave, she quickly stopped him and demanded for a huge sum of money. Tony reacted and asked what the money was for, and she said it's for babysitting him while he slept. When Tony saw he didn't have a choice, he paid the money to her and left. After he had gone, Kareem realized that he forgot his phone in her lodge, and when Tony called her to come get the phone, she insisted on bringing it back herself, but on one condition, and that is if Tony would pay her. Without argument, Tony agreed. When Tony got home, he saw his mother, who came from the village, waiting for him outside. He greeted her and they both went inside. While they sat at the living room, his mother started advising him to move on with his life and that he should not kill himself simply because his marriage with his ex-wife failed. She went further advising him to get another wife for himself or simply allow her to get one for him. While they were talking, the gate man walked in and told them that a beautiful lady is at the gate waiting for his boss. Tony already knew it was Kareem, so he quickly went out to see her and get back his phone. Kareem gave him back his phone and immediately requested for the money Tony promised to give her. Tony transferred some money to her instantly. Meanwhile, Tony's mother looked from the window and saw Kareem. In her mind, she thought Kareem was her son's girlfriend, so she went outside to see things for herself. And on getting there, behold Kareem, looking so beautiful and harmless. Tony's mom loved Kareem at the first sight, and she insisted that they both come inside so they can have lunch together. Kareem was confused, but Tony gave her a sign to play along. After the mother left to prepare the meal, Kareem said she couldn't spend more time or play along with whatever he and his mother were up to because she has customers at her lodge waiting for her to satisfy them. Because of this, Tony offered to pay her double of whatever she was supposed to make for the day, and that was when she agreed to play along as his girlfriend. After they were done eating, Tony's mom pleaded with Kareem to stay with them in the house till the end of the weekend, and she agreed. Kareem never seemed like a street girl because she always cooked, cleaned, and did all the chores in the house, and Tony's mom has been observing her while she did all these. The next day, Tony's younger sister Sonia came from her husband's house to stay with them for a few days and also spend time with her brother's new girlfriend. Kareem walked in on them and complimented Tony's sister Sonia for being so beautiful. Immediately, her phone rang. She excused herself to take the call. It was her customers who had already paid for her service, and yet she hasn't satisfied them. After a while, her phone rang again for the second time, and as she stepped out to take the call, this made Sonia and her mom to get suspicious. Few days later, the gate man was heard exchanging words with someone. Sonia came outside to find out what was going on, and when she confronted the gate man, he said a man came to the house and claimed Kareem was owing him money for 2 nights. So she didn't quite understand what the gate man meant by 2 nights, so she angrily went back inside to tell her mother about the incident, hoping that her mom would join forces with her to throw Kareem out of the house. But she was just calm because to her, Kareem is homely and is of good character, so Sonia left angrily back to her room. Tony's mom came down and met Kareem coming out of the kitchen. Tony's mom was surprised that she could cook, but Kareem told her that she is a professional cook and she used to own a restaurant before she lost all her money to family problems. Tony's mom was pleased. Kareem told her to go back upstairs, that she is almost done cooking and that she will serve the food when she is done. That night, Sonia and her mom sat at the living room. She asked why her husband has neither called nor visited them since she came, and she asked if everything was okay between her and her husband, but Sonia denied and assured her that everything was fine. Upstairs were Kareem and Tony in the bedroom. Kareem felt ungrateful that Tony has paid her so much money for pretending to be his girlfriend, so she attempted to have sex with him to serve as her way of appreciating him. But Tony rejected her, saying he sees potential in her and wants to develop those potentials. Kareem's friend Mercy, who's also into runs like her, came to the house to see her. They talked about many things and spent some time together. And when it was time for her to leave, on her way out, she saw Sonia, and it happened to be that Sonia was once into prostitution and they were friends back then. Mercy asked Sonia why she's not in her husband's house. Does that mean she's still into prostitution even after getting married? But Sonia dodged the question and asked her what she was doing in her brother's house. And Mercy said she came to see her friend Kareem, and that was how Sonia was fully assured that Kareem was a real-time prostitute. She told her mother about this, and they confronted Kareem, asking her exactly what she does for a living, but she couldn't answer. Instead, she exposed Sonia's secret of how she cheated on her husband with another man, and that was why her husband chased her out of his house. Sonia's mom was shocked to hear this, so she started interrogating her, but she couldn't utter a word. Kareem went upstairs and started packing her clothes to leave the house when Tony walked in and begged her not to leave, but she refused and insisted on going. Tony promised he'll handle the situation and calmed her down. Sonia and her mom were both surprised that even after Tony found out that Kareem isn't what everyone thought she was, he still sided with her. That was when her mom decided to throw Kareem out herself. She stood up and left. On getting to where Kareem was, she saw her doing the laundry on her own accord. This made her change her mind. She stayed for a while and watched her do the laundry. Then she went back inside quietly. Later on, while Kareem was sitting at the living room, Sonia walked in and forcefully brought her legs down from the chair. Kareem asked her why she did that, and she said with a harsh tone that she would never allow her brother to marry a street girl, and then she tried to force and push her out of the house, but Tony walked in and stopped her. He asked Kareem to go upstairs, and he warned his sister never to try something like that ever again and walked away. When he got to the room, Kareem calmly advised that it would be better if she left the house since Tony's mother and sister are already irritated by her presence and they now despise her because of her past life. So she also told Tony that she has already fallen in love with him and that she is also grateful for all that he has done for her. Tony was glad to hear this, so they kissed for a while. Back at the lodge, Kareem's former customer called Dave came to threaten Mercy to tell her friend Kareem to either return the money he paid her or she should satisfy him. Mercy told him that Kareem is no longer a runs girl, but she can take her place and satisfy him instead. But Dave refused and insisted that it must be Kareem or no one else. This made Mercy upset and she asked him to leave. Tony brought Kareem to a new apartment he got for her and told her to please not allow her friend Mercy to live with her in that house, but of course she is free to visit. After all said, Kareem agreed. Tony told her that he loves her and they hugged each other in happiness. Back at Tony's house, Sonia found it difficult to do house chores the way Kareem used to, and this is her mother forcing her to go tidy up the kitchen. When Tony got back from work, he came down after he freshened up and realized that there was no food in the kitchen. He confronted his mother as to why they would chase Kareem out of the house when Sonia cannot even do the house chores that Kareem used to do when she was still around. Tony's mom calmed him down and apologized. She offered to go make food for him, but Tony seemed uninterested any longer. Kareem, on the other hand, has gone back to her food business, and that's her telling Tony about it. And when Tony complained to her that there was no food in the house when he got back from work, she offered to send him some food from her restaurant with a dispatch rider. The gate man received the food and brought it inside. When Sonia found out that the food came from Kareem, she ordered him to go dispose the food. But she wasn't sure if the gate man would do as she has instructed, so she took the food from him with the intention of disposing it herself. And the gate man wasn't really happy about this. Somehow, Dave found the location of Kareem's restaurant and showed up unannounced, demanding that Kareem satisfy him that day or she returns his money. Kareem couldn't go back to her old life, so instead she asked how much his money was and made a transfer to him on the spot. This made Dave happy and he promised to come patronize her new food business one day. Apparently, Sonia brought home one of her friends called Amaka to replace Kareem and marry her brother. Her mother liked this Amaka and accepted her for his son. Later at night, Sonia convinced Amaka to put on something sexy and revealing so as to seduce Tony when he comes back. But to their greatest surprise, Tony never came back that night and the following night after that too. The next thing, he called his gateman on phone and instructed him to get some clothes for him. But on his way to pick the clothes, Sonia stopped him and ordered him to get back to his duty post. It's been days later and Tony hasn't come back yet. Amaka is already tired of waiting for him. She complained to her friend Sonia, but Sonia told her to be patient, that Tony would definitely come back to the house. That's Sonia and her mom at the living room when Tony mysteriously walked in. The mother stood up and asked why he abandoned them for almost a week. She asked him to sit down so they could talk and settle things. Tony sat down and asked why they trashed the food that Kareem brought for him. But his mother waived the matter by telling him that they have a surprise for him. Sonia quickly went in and brought Amaka out for Tony. And the mother was so excited about this, but Tony wasn't pleased, so he stood up and left. Amaka noticed that Tony wasn't at all interested in her, so she asked why he acted that way, but Sonia and her mom assured her that everything will be taken care of and she shouldn't worry. Sonia went to visit her old friend Mercy. She pretended like she was worried about Kareem, and that was how she managed to get information about Kareem and where her restaurant is. That's Kareem running her restaurant business happily and building good relationship with her customers, not knowing what's coming for her. All of a sudden, Sonia walked in. She started ranting and threatening Kareem to stay away from her brother. She went further by saying that Kareem uses water from her private part to cook the food that her customers are eating. This made the customers to lose interest in the food and leave, even without paying her. She tried calling them back, but they ignored her and left. Sonia didn't care. Instead, she threatened to do worse if Kareem refuses to stay away from her brother. Kareem's friend Mercy visited her, and when she heard about what happened, she also promised to get back at Sonia for what she did. So she consoled Kareem. Tony's mom is seen coming downstairs early in the morning, and seeing everywhere so dirty and unkept, she wondered why a woman like Amaka would be in the house, sleeping, and the house would look untidy. And the worst part of it all is that Tony also left for work without eating anything, simply because Amaka didn't prepare anything for him to eat. This made her to reminisce on those days when Kareem was still staying in the house with them, how she would cook, clean, and also make sure that Tony has his breakfast every morning before leaving for work. This alone made her lose interest in Amaka. She complained about this to Sonia, and Sonia promised to talk to Amaka, and she believes that she would change after talking to her. But when she related this to Amaka, Amaka got angry and complained that Tony has never spoken to her nor touched her since she came into the house, and that if the marriage does not work, then Sonia and her mom would have to compensate her for all the time wasted. After saying this, she left. A day after, Amaka is seen coming down with her bag of belongings, ready to leave the house. She requested for her compensation since the marriage didn't work out as planned. Sonia and her mom thought she was joking. While they were still trying to reason with her, she picked up the knife on the table and threatened to use it on them if they hesitate to compensate her with the sum of 200,000 naira. They were both shocked that she could do something like that. Tony left the house again without a trace. No one knew his whereabouts, not until Sonia overheard the gate man talking to him on the phone. So she confronted him and asked him to give her the number that Tony used to reach him, but the gate man refused, saying his oga told him not to share the number with anyone. Sonia tried to take the number by force, but he still was persistent on not giving it to her. So she decided to go back to Kareem's restaurant to confront and fight her, but her friend Mercy was there, and they both went into a serious fight to the point where she came back with bruises all over her body. The next day, Sonia and her mom were sitting at the living room when Tony walked in. When his mother went to welcome him, he ignored her and went straight to his room. This got his mom so worried, so she decided to do what was right by him. The next day at Kareem's restaurant, Tony's mom walked in. Surprisingly to Kareem, she went on her knees begging Kareem to forgive everything she has ever done against her and accept her back. Kareem instantly forgave her and even offered to serve her food from her restaurant. Sonia too realized that Kareem really makes her brother happy, so she also felt remorse for all the terrible things she has done to jeopardize her brother's happiness. Her mom was excited to hear this, so she promised to call Sonia's husband and sort things out between them, and she gave Sonia a warm hug. After Kareem got back to the house, Sonia approached her and apologized for all that she has done. Kareem said she loves Tony and that love also extends to his family, so she bears no grudge against her. Tony, on the other hand, proposed to Kareem in front of his family and she accepted. She is so excited to become part of the family. Sonia and her husband also settled the issue they had going on and reconciled with each other. The both couples lived happily ever after, and that's the end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel TCN Movies TV and hit the notification bell to get notified for more movie recaps like this.